I'd like to introduce our speakers. This is going to be very exciting. We have Mr. Jim Green and Wanda Woodson. Took my glasses off, sorry. And they are here from Pingree Farms. And they told me this morning, the largest urban farm in the country. They have 25 acres of reclaimed, 25, she told me 25. We're going with 25 acres. I exaggerate a little bit, of reclaimed property that is now being used for farming. This number she promised me is correct. Okay, she's the real estate agent. She said she can do that. They grow and give away 12 to 15,000 pounds of food a year. If from an urban farm that's maintained by volunteers, adult volunteers, student volunteers, and 4-H members. This is a phenomenal operation that started in 2012. Thereabouts.
It's in my presentation.
And I don't have to say anymore. Mr. Jim Green, please.
15 acres now. So we also include on our team Clarence Price is kind of our education specialist, and then John Grace is joining us remotely from a remote location somewhere. He's going to speak about the 4-H part of it, but our big planting day is June 3rd, that's Saturday, from 8 to noon, and we have the deadline as well. All of the beds are in. We probably do it a little different than you guys do. I'll show you a little video on that later. So Pingree Farms, the logo was designed by my daughter because we were off the radar for a long time. We were in a secret location, weren't allowed to tell anybody what we were doing because gardens are illegal on residential property. So that's why it's the underground farm under the city. The quote from Daniel Webster, I think, summarizes everything that we are about. And that's creating really the opportunity for the youth that's coming up and building them up. But to show them that connection from starting at the beginning, you got to grow it. And it's just amazing to see what we've created. So we're not just goat yoga. That was a real popular fundraiser. At one year we had over 2,200 people do goat yoga at $25 a head. It was sweet. But COVID kind of crushed that. And then maybe you saw Will riding Hope through the BP gas station. He was on national news. I was down in Florida, and it was on the Fox station that I was watching at the time. But Pingree Farms to date, we're the largest urban farm in the country. 16, we were the MSU Extension Key Partner of the Year. We are the largest 4-H club in Wayne County, at least we were. We're expanding the 4-H all the time. The community garden program, community garden program, when COVID started, the need for vegetables, the gardens were mostly just open and people would help themselves. But in the COVID thing, it was like, all right, we got to get this thing rolling. So that's kind of when we started our victory garden thing. But we're also, with COVID being shut down, all of our facilities are now used by the Boy Scouts, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Shriners, as a kind of a community group. Also do transitional and JVS, use our facilities. Those are special needs students, and then a lot of after school programs. So we started voluntold, you'll see, is a fairly common theme in our growth. So that's two of my daughters. My son actually started the farm, and his job was to cut the grass. And I said, ah, man, can I do a garden? It's going to be so much easier than cutting the grass every week. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure, go for it. Little did he know. Let's see. Why is it not transition? So the real expansion started in 2010. We expanded the gardens. I smuggled some cattle down in, so we're at 7 Mile and I-75 in case anybody, I should. So on the southwest corner behind the BP gas station, those are all of our gardens along the expressway, and it's on the campus of Milton Manufacturing. So Milton was started in 1946, and when I was a kid, when my dad started there in 65, it was 167 homes in that little area. And then, like the rest of Detroit, it kind of burned down, fell down, and we started clearing the property and then cutting the grass so that employees weren't scared to come to work. But I gave my kids some chores to do, and when they started going away to school, my bride wouldn't let me keep the cows at the house, so we smuggled them down to Detroit, and I made my employees feed the cows. So now, 2010, we expanded the gardens. That's my son plowing one of the early fields. That's actually Brentwood. And now, when you see the soil, it was literally like this. And after a couple of years of cow manure, it's amazing what happens. But we started expanding the gardens, and 2014. We had Oakland County 4-H that wanted to take care of our animals. And I had a few animals at the shop, 50 chickens, 12 cattle, I forget how many sheep, goats, ducks, pigs. And evidently the city didn't think that was appropriate. So I had, was it 12 or 13? 11. Okay, 11. I see I'm exaggerating, right? Tickets for harboring farm animals. If you zoom in on that the ticket, it says harboring farm animals. So I had to go down to 36th District Court, and the Judge Miller, wouldn't read the charges. He said, if I read these out loud, we're all going to be way more attention than what we want. You know what you're doing. So you need to get with engineering in the city and figure out how you're going to make this work. And they were going to shut us down for sure. But then they realized all the pretty cool stuff we were doing with kids. And they said, you know, if you can get affiliated with a university and the animals stay on the industrial property, then you're not a hoarder anymore. We can call you a learning laboratory, and you can keep the animals and everybody wins. And so kudos to the city of Detroit for finding a way to make it work, as opposed to being the fun governor and figuring out how to shut her down. So 2015, I would say, is our when we really started to get rolling. We partnered with EAA, and they're that's middle school. NOLA Middle School is at 7 Mile there and 75. And so we started to get some local kids from Wayne County, and that's when we really started to grow the 4-H. 2021, I think, coming out of COVID, here Dorian won the Master Stockman Award at the Wayne County Fair. Just great to see. Sorry. '21 was great. We built the second greenhouse. We expanded our Victory Garden to include a bunch of different food banks. The Master Stockman, we started reaching out to veterans, Whole Foods, Myers, UD. It's all volunteers. So it's really, really, I have so much thanks for all the folks that do volunteer, because it's amazing. 2022, we additional school partnerships, expanded the 4-H offerings. suckered Clarence into getting an expanded role, and some big success at the Wayne County Fair. Our 2023 goals, we're looking to get additional education, expand the 4-H offerings, expand the Victory Garden. We had hoped to do a community kitchen. Most people, when they pick the produce, they seriously have no idea what to do with it after you pick it. So we thought a community kitchen would be a great way to link generations as well as additional skills. If you can operate a hand tool in a kitchen, then I can hire you to operate a hand tool in my factory. So we saw that as a direct connection. The Wayne County Fair experience, that's what Juan is going to talk about, and then working closely with different sponsors and improve fundraising. So it's Pingree is all donations. And I seriously, when I started and I thought all this cool stuff was going on, that people would line up and literally just write checks. And I had no idea how hard the fundraising part is compared to actually the doing the gardens and all that stuff. That's way easier than trying to pry money out of people. But we've got bees and archery, and that's what John's going to talk about, is kind of the 4-H activity. But we started our Victory Garden a couple of years ago as just a formal Victory Garden. There's some pictures of some of the scenery and the fields that you see at Milton, just different panoramic. And then that was our fall cleanup, is the bottom picture there. Some of the produce as we pick. So Mahindra donated a couple of grand and a tractor. So we converted one of the offices in one of our shop buildings to be the Pingree Community Center. And that's where we pick and store all the food. And then St. Regis donated some money for a cooler. So now we'll be able to take the field heat out of the vegetables when we pick them. But it's all volunteer. So you guys all know there's so many things that you could help do. We've already got our seeds purchased and supplies starting this year, and we've got our greenhouse pretty much full. We've got Ferndale Garden Club is donating some heirloom plants and that kind of stuff. We're hoping to start a seed saver exchange so that we can start to teach the kids how that process actually works. I think it's just one more way to teach independence and one more way to show how it's all related in terms of how things are grown. The field prep, we've already done all the composting, all the rototilling, and we finished putting all the beds in. So weeding is a giant opportunity. We get a lot of people to show up for planting day, but nobody shows up for weeding parties. So we try and plant clover to choke everything out, but there's so many noxious weeds, it's just crazy. But so we do use plastic mulch and drip irrigation for all of the beds. And then the aisles are wide enough to be able to get a brush hog down through the center to knock the high stuff down. But we do have a giant compost pile and all that stuff. So local landscapers donate all their leaves and stuff. So planting day this year, June 3rd, starts at 8 o'clock. We're going to do a pancake breakfast from 7 to 9. And we usually have a mariachi band that'll start and keep everybody entertained while all the plants go in the ground. It was a pretty light turnout last year, but again, the COVID thing just seems that people haven't got back into the habit of getting out into the world, right? Monitoring, trellising, trimming, working in the gardens. There was a big 10-point buck in the field last year. It's hard to believe when you go there. All the harvesting, it's just awesome to watch all the volunteers picking and how much food you can generate. It's amazing. And we're not planting it as intense as we should. Distributing, it's all part of it. We're hoping to get this community kitchen. This is my favorite picture right here. I came down the street to work one day and they were literally just walking through the gardens with a shopping cart that they had pilfered from the store up the street. And they were just walking down the gardens, filling their shopping cart. And man, that's it right there. So anyway, that's kind of the did I just sign out? No.
Jim?
Yep. Hey, John.
Hey, sorry about that. I'm kind of losing you a little bit.
How do I share him? Oh, he's going to talk. All right.
Yeah, you got to put your presentation back up, I think. I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to try it. And how do I share these pictures while he's? No, on my computer. So I just change the screen. What do I do? Oh. Sorry. Okay, and then if I want some pictures from my computer to share, I gotta change what I'm sharing.
Yeah.
Don't go away. How do I? Where do I do that? Down here.
You gotta go into Zoom.
Yeah. Okay, and share this screen.
Yeah. Then you enlarge the picture that you want to show.
Why is it showing Lana up there? John, what picture are you seeing?
I see your whole folder.
You
Oh, there's-
seeing the
there's
archery
12.
picture there?
Yeah, there's archery.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Where's the speaker coming up? Try it again.
Can you hear me? Is that all right? Any better?
Probably not. Try it again.
Wow, that's not better.
That didn't work. How about now?
Can you hear me?
No, I don't know where the speaker's coming out.
Is that any better?
No. How about now?
Can you hear me? Live from Canada.
Raise your speaker there.
How about now, John?
I can hear you, but I wonder if you guys can hear me.
Okay, yeah, we
Is
can.
that good? Okay. Hey, let me start by saying I apologize. I was supposed to be there, and certainly Meadowbrook is beautiful. But unfortunately, I'm stuck walleye fishing in Canada, which isn't the worst options either. I have to say something, kind of personal. I met Jim at Michigan State when I was a freshman, and we're both engineers. And I always told my kids, you're going to meet a guy like Jim, and he's going to tell you to do something stupid. And you're not going to want to do it, but he's going to be right and you're going to be wrong. So just listen to him. Don't overthink it. And we've been friends for quite a long time, and done, from fencing, to farming adventures in our lives. So, he's always right. So thanks, Jim.
I forgot to tell my kids, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm no expert. I'm, kind of a data software AI person. I run software companies. And so this whole thing is a little bit outside my expertise, but I'm a 4-H volunteer. Pingree has a wonderful 4-H program. I'm primarily involved with the viticulture because I enjoy drinking wine. And I have a daughter that is a chemical engineer, also from Michigan State, and she is a winemaker. And we started doing that together 10 years ago. And so that's, so what we're doing is helping with the viticulture program. And I think I saw some slides talking about a relationship with Michigan State to expand, the types of grapes we use because we're in relatively cold weather. And if you've been up north to some of the wineries up there, you'll notice that they don't have all the types of grapes that you might see in California because the winter is relatively hard on some of those grape varietals. And so, we're working with some of those groups to test different types of products that will survive. And that's what we have at Pingree is kind of a learning or education vineyard that we can test. Can you hear me?
Yep.
That we can test different, types of varietals of grapes. So, some of the other programs, obviously Jim mentioned we have, a lot of animals, and many of the kids are involved with those animals and have won, many awards at some of the state and county fairs. There's archery. We have an archery team. Obviously, the farming is an aspect, in addition to the husbandry. And there's tremendous opportunities, and that's kind of, I guess, my interest is to be able to expose people to different things that they may not be able to get exposed to in their day-to-day life, and who knows where that will lead them somewhere down the road.
Morning, honey. I'm listening to a Zoom call, so right.
You're on.
That's really all I got here, Jim. I don't know if there's a specific picture.
I don't necessarily. I just I think the 4-H development, when you've your exposure to the 4-H kids, I think why don't you just talk about the development that you've seen and just the students that you've kind of been exposed to. Juana's going to touch on it at the fairgrounds and that kind of stuff, but
okay.
I think
it's just like almost anything else. I think that what's interesting about Pingree though is it's just so unusual, all the things that are available that are so close to some of our kids' homes. So it's a strange world that's still very close and convenient that you could go and explore and be a little bit more of a kid that some people don't always have an opportunity to do. And like I said, you got to go there. It's crazy. And I will say that 10 years ago, or maybe 13 years ago, I brought 2 baby cows home in a dog crate and had my kid feed him, my youngest Jack, bottle feed him through the summer. And they lived in my backyard with my dog, who's sitting with me right now. And neighbors, were kind of puzzled by the mooing because we lived in the city out in Chicago. And, it's stuff like that you don't really get, to have that opportunity every day. So the kids, that we usually work with, they come in and they don't really know what to expect, and they find something interesting, whether it's a rabbit, whether it's a chicken, whether it's a goat, that they suddenly, now can take, some, kind of ownership in that animal and take care of it and feed it and show it off. And it's really pretty awesome to see, kind of the progression and the interest. And it's not something, we really have to encourage. We just have to show them, here, find something interesting. And it's really, it's pretty cool.
Good. Thank you, John. And he's right. We did do some stuff, and he had all of his neighbors in Chicago convinced that the calves were rescue calves, that the mother had rejected them. And so when all his neighbors started to complain, he's like, but we're rescuing these calves. Oh, you're such a humanitarian.
It was awesome.
Anyway, all right, hang on, John. Thanks. I'm going to put Juan on now.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. Let's see if I can figure out how to share Juana's thing here now. Okay, where is that folder? This keeps popping up here. But stop. No, that's not what I want to share. All right, where am I going here? How do I go to
the Zoom?
Yep. Screen share.
Mhm. Video.
Yep. And compare.
Hello, my name is Dorian Jackson.
Why isn't it showing up here? It's not showing on the screen there. It's not showing up there.
You don't have it on. You're not in the, it's being shared online, but not here because you've got to go into your presentation.
Oh, okay. And shut that down, or
Well, you've got to put that on the screen.
this on the screen, or put
Right now, you've got that on the screen.
right? And how do I just end it then?
Well, either that or minimize it.
Now that's sharing? No.
No. You're on the screen you're on the internet.
You understand what we're doing here, Clarence?
You need to put it on your screen here, so.
Maximize. It's not showing up there.
No,
New share?
right? Media player. Well, no, it's already on there. Because it's online, and you need to get it up here on the screen, and it's part of your presentation mode. Where is your,
This is what I'm presentation. Add it to
Okay.
that.
yeah, right.
Camera. More slide options.
This is what's on the screen.
Right.
Stop sharing.
Stop share.
Oh, no, just this part.
How do you do that? I got no problem.
Complete disaster.
So it should-
Yeah.
I'm Kaya. My name is.
All right. You've got to use that.
I can close the presentation. I got no problem. Close the presentation. There's nothing on it.
Okay, well, you can,
This PowerPoint right here.
it's PowerPoint that you want to do,
Nope, I just want this video right here.
right? Okay. But we want to get that up on,
Nope. Yeah, we wanted to get the video, so you can close that PowerPoint if you want. Just close the whole thing.
I'm not sure how did,
Okay.
your
I'll just text
computer is, yeah, so.
Okay.
That's just, yeah, easy. Right. All right.
All right.
I'll just play it.
Got it. All right. Sorry for the technical difficulties here.
Hello, my name is Dorian Jackson.
I'm Kaya. My name is Shindy. My name is Faith.
My name is Emmanuel Barron. So every Wednesday, instead of going to school, I actually went to Pingree to help out at the farm. Remember, I was veterinary science and stuff like that.
I looked it up, like, just remembering that I was a farm. Faith was coming and every time she'd come home, she would just tell us about all her wonderful experiences and how much fun she had. And I just wanted to have the same experience. Pingree is just like, it's like fun, like, I get to be whoever I want to be. Like when I was in school, I got to put on this act and then I got to act like somebody that I. It's real different.
Pingree, they will take this time to make sure you get everything. And if you get something wrong, you're not gonna feel like you work. It'll give you a chance to reflect on what you can do better.
Nobody in the school goes to a farm as much as I do. They're always asking why I'm always at the farm or why I'm always with some animal. I don't think anybody's experienced the things that I have this past year. When I leave from my home to come to Pingree, I'm just going to my second home. It's great. It's awesome and amazing. I like being here and we get along as family are supposed to. In school, I mean, there are people you have to go to every day. I mean, they're the teachers, but I look at our Pingree chaperones as family. I've learned to never give up. To go for things that I don't know, like showing humongous animals that I probably would never show. Well, I never would have thought I showed like 4 years ago. Learning parts of a goat and learning how to walk them, like teaching them. To teach you how to be a leader because you have to lead the goat, you have to train it. I really enjoy coming to the farm all the time. Since I want to work with animals, this gave me the opportunity to learn more about them and work with them a lot.
Pingree will definitely make a difference in my life by giving me those different skills like leadership. I want to go into cybersecurity. After that, I want to be an English teacher, going overseas, like Germany and stuff like that.
In 5 years, I see myself at Michigan State. So hopefully I can get into their vet school and graduate from there. I see myself being a doctor or a nurse. Well, I want to go to Harvard. So hopefully that gives me
So he had to be a very good. Teamwork is imperative, especially in the workplace. So I feel like those skills are really nice for the future.
We went to dance contest too.
So we rent those 2 campers, and I think we've expanded. I think we had to rent 3 one year. Just yeah. So that was the fair mom just kind of walked by over there. That she's going to talk to you about how all this goes down. So I'd say I'd show some pictures, but I don't want to spend another 20 minutes trying to find pictures. You start talking and I'll look for pictures. How about that?
Good morning, everyone. It's really an honor to be here. I asked him to play the video afterwards. At first, I asked for it before, but I forgot that it makes me cry every time. So let me just get it together here. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. So the Wayne County Fair is a culmination of everything that the students do throughout the year. But I'd just like to give you a little background on how I got started with Pingree. I was an employee of Milton Manufacturing, and I was constantly being told by Green, who I affectionately refer to him as, "Oh, you're going to work on the farm with me." Do I look like I want to work on a farm? Oh, you're going to be great. You're going to work on the farm with me. So I'd had no idea of what we were really talking about. But we started out by going to Nolan, which is the school in our neighborhood. And some of these students that you've already met, they attended Nolan. So we asked for not the best students, but the students that had some interest in gardening or animals or the medical field. So they brought us 11 students. And we had this great presentation that he and I did. And afterwards, we told them, we're going to bring you over to the farm at 2:30 in the afternoon and show you everything. And that's when their jaws dropped. And we couldn't understand why they were so enthusiastic. But then when we said we were going to bring them over, they didn't want to come. But what we didn't know, and what they shared with us, is that they were going to be missing dinner. That broke my heart. I probably woke up for the next 3 weeks crying, because dinner was my most precious time of day with my family. We learned a new word. My dad came home from work. We set the table. We all sat there and just relished in being a family. I didn't know that this wasn't the way that it was for everybody, but it wasn't. So we remedied that by picking them up in one of his boy toys, a big MRAP vehicle, and brought them over for a pizza dinner. They were ecstatic, so much so that when they went back to school, they told everyone, and then we had another party with 56 kids because everybody wanted to see what they had experienced. So that's how we got started, and that's how I got to be on the farm. So we didn't realize that their exposure was as limited as it really is. So when we took them to the fair, we gave them a camping list and blah, 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 and all the things that you need, normal things. But when they came to go to the fair, they didn't have those things. So then we had to put on our run fast shoes and Amazon and order sleeping blankets and towels and underwear and just basic necessities. So then we saw the need to fundraise before the fair. Green used to tease me when we got to the fair because I was voluntold that I was going to be the fair mom, which wasn't hard because I'm a mom to everybody around me. But I wanted to expose them to what I knew. And I showed them what setting a table was like and putting flowers on the table and having a family style meal and table etiquette. And he's like, we're at the fair. What are you doing? I said, well, if we don't do it at the fair, they'll never see it. So he understood what I was saying, and the experience of seeing them come out of their normal 6-block radius, because when we got to fair most of the time or over the years, they didn't know if they were in Ohio, if they were in Illinois, just where were they? Because they didn't venture past 6 blocks. So to say the least, we came out blue ribbon winners. The kids expanded their exposure. They got into baking and archery and dance and knitting and crocheting and all the wonderful things that 4-H has to offer. And so it's now a big fundraising time for us to ensure that the kids have the best experience ever at camping. And I thank you for allowing me to share the story with you. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them afterwards.
Thank you. There's just so many great fair stories. I just, it's something you got to watch. So we do accept volunteers, but you have to be a certified 4-H volunteer, certainly with all the double stuff. Since you're with youth, there's a qualification that you have to go through, but watching their growth at fair is, and to me, I'm a wilderness camper guy, and so we go to the campgrounds and it's literally like setting up campers in here. And to me, like, I don't get it, but they just are so excited after COVID. Like, when are we going back to the fair? When can we go camping again? Like, okay, all right, yeah. And it is exciting. I'm a one-pot meal, macaroni and hot dogs. We would have macaroni and hot dogs every day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's what we would have. And Juana's got, here's the menu planning. And so now the kids are part of the menu planning. They're part of the meal prep. They're part of the cleanup. It's not supposed to be adults taking care of them. It's adults making sure they don't, our motto in Boy Scouts was nobody died, nothing burned. It was a successful deal. So kind of the fairgrounds is the same thing. And the fair goes to such great lengths to make sure that it is an enjoyable experience. They have events every day during. So if you've never been to the county fair, it's a little better than watching paint dry, but the kids are showing the animals, as you saw, out in the arena. It's great. Sorry. Belleville. So the state fairgrounds, right? That's the Amazon thing, and the state fairgrounds is out on 696 and yeah, but it's quite small, but it allows the opportunity for everybody to be something. So anyway, I'm going to try and figure out how to get Clarence's thing figured out here. Okay, so now I'm sharing here, right? So now I'm going to go to Clarence. And this was a little video that Clarence made here when, well, come on up, introduce yourself. Sorry, taking your thunder.
Good morning, how y'all doing? Awesome, I'm Clarence Price. Let's give Jim and Juana a round of applause just for the work that they've been doing. Yes. How many people had heard of Pingree Farms and the work that they were doing prior to this? A few of you all, wow. Okay. So me, I'm born and raised in Highland Park, which is a stone throw away from Pingree Farms. I met Jim at a Coney Island in Highland Park that we would typically eat breakfast at. So here was this man telling me about a farm at 7 Mile and 75. A farm? It didn't make sense. He's talking about animals, cows, pigs. So I was voluntold to come see this farm. So I went over. My background is education. I've worked in different capacities inside of the urban schools. I've worked with youth. My passion is youth and family development. I strongly believe in youth and family development. So when I went over here and heard these kids were over here raising pigs, I couldn't believe what I saw. It piqued my interest. So here I was inside of education, and here he was with a manufacturing plant, raising animals, creating a garden. It was fascinating for me to see the possibility. And I think that's what you get when you come to Pingree. When you have the opportunity to come see what's happening over there, you see all this possibility. You see gardening, you see 8 different animals that kids can raise and show. There's hoop houses, so there's horticulture going on, there's archery, goat yoga, and then he has a manufacturing plant that can teach kids how to become engineers and have a successful career without college. So when you're an educator like myself and you're seeing all this possibility, it's so easy to get sucked in like I have for the past year. So I've been in this role now for a year, and it's definitely been very rewarding. I'm so grateful and humble to be in the rooms like this. I would have never knew what a Meadowbrook was had it not been for the possibility of Pingree. And so I've been to Washington, D.C. to talk about farming and urban agriculture education. So most people don't know that right now with the food crisis, food security is national security. 13 million children are food insecure in our country, 300,000 just in Michigan. So what Pingree is creating is that opportunity where youth can come, learn how to grow and cultivate their food, and then be able to feed themselves. And so we've been piloting a program at Pingree called Ag Education Thursdays. I left the school system, took a hiatus, found another career path. I'll let Jim tell you the stories about that. But I started an educational service company where we create mentoring opportunities and youth enrichment programs. And so we piloted this Ag Education Thursdays where students come over, inner city students who've never been on a farm. They get to come to Pingree and they get to experience real life skills. So 3 of the pathways that we've piloted have been archery, goat science, and rabbit science. So I'm gonna show you the video and then we'll talk a little more about it. Give you a visual of what we've been doing. It worked. First try. And so for me, this video is just a representation of the possibilities that Pingree creates. Here are some students that literally live within the community who had never had the opportunity to experience these things. One of the students in that video, his name is Noah. And so Noah has a very difficult time dealing in the classroom setting. Taking Noah over there, I strategically put him in the bunnies pathway first. I said, you know what, Noah, you're so bad, you're always so tough. Play with these bunnies. And so when you heard Noah showing and talking about the bunnies, after that, he said, this is the greatest day of my life. Just playing with a bunny changed Noah to the point that he found something that he was interested in, a new experience, something that put him on a pathway to explore. And so for me, my journey with working with Jim and working with Wanda has been to help nurture the journey that they started. And so that's my role. I'm going to be the voice of attracting youth, volunteers, and everybody to see the great work that they've already started doing. So thank you.
Thank you. So, but this year, so what we're, one of the goals this year is to do something on the horticulture side with the youth. So we've got a Master Gardener program that we're hoping to start a Junior Master Gardener program. We are a approved site for your volunteer hours. So if you're looking to build up your hours, well, as we're leaving, I know we're getting close to time, but so we got the Master Gardener. We'd hope to find somebody, maybe somebody here wants to be that leader of that Junior Master Gardener program and help us develop that curriculum. And we can certainly come up with the kids, but we're only as good as the number of people that get up off the couch and come down and do something, right? So that's really the key.
Be careful here, volunteer you when you be set.
So I don't know how much time we have left. I know are we done? Are we putting a bow on it? What do I got to do? I got another minute, 5 minutes, half hour? All right. Careful. So, let's see if I got, okay. So, I brought, so here's our planting day. I haven't. So you see, we got all the beds done. We got the clover in, but mariachi band will start about 8:30. To me, the best part is watching different generations be part. Those kids are now in high school or middle school, but they're on the archery team. He drove up from Cleveland. So it's a mix between customers and friends and neighbors. And we have different tools that we use for planting. Huh? Cowboy Will. He is a camera hog. It is amazing. Camera comes out, Cowboy Will is there. We put probably 10,000 plants in the ground on planting day. So our greenhouses are full right now from all the seeds that we started. Huh? That one's still there. I don't know what just happened here. Sorry. We don't have to watch all this. Oh, this is my favorite part. We're a defense supplier. That's why I have that truck. It's not that bad a neighborhood. There we go. That was a good one. Let's see. So interesting question, huh? Yeah. So we have, and that's question and answers. This is down the discussion part. So I'm just randomly going through videos. So if you have any questions, just shout them out. But we we tap into the city water and have drip irrigation. So all of the rows have drip tape, and then we have main headers, and we bring the water from across the street, not always in obvious ways. And so our water bill gets to be a little stupid sometimes. My bride is convinced that if we just went to Eastern Market and bought cases of green peppers and zucchinis and threw them out in the fields and let people pick them up and re-put them back in the box, that would be cheaper than paying the water bill sometimes. But yeah. It's but yeah, so we'll turn all that on. I'm just going to go through this real quick, but when I saw where we started from 2010, because we didn't, if you go to our website or Facebook, pingreefarms.org or Pingree Farms Facebook, go to the blog section. There's a bunch of cool little videos of all the stuff we've done in the past. And we used to, when people would say what their names were or where they were, we would block out street signs and fade their names away so that people couldn't figure out where we were, like we were a big secret or something. So, because it was illegal, what we were doing is you have to have a permit to put a garden on a residential property like what we're doing. And so we're still essentially illegal because we haven't become a farm yet. So, but this is a little bit about Mayor Pingree. My daughter was doing a school presentation and discovered Mayor Pingree and his history of urban agriculture. He's actually the pioneer for urban agriculture. And there is a statue in Grand Circus Park, in case you wonder who that guy was. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, the music doesn't add much. Yeah. So that's Mayor Pingree. In the Depression of 1890, unemployment was something like 25–30%. And his idea was to let people grow their own food on city property. And that was just unheard of. And so he's really the first urban farmer. So that's our first manure spreader. My son and his wife at the time, how many years ago? And that's some of the, that's my daughter watering. So we'd have a big tank that we'd drag around and water all of the different plants. We grew turkeys, pigs, that kind of stuff. But it's just when you see what it was, where we started, it's just amazing to me how time has allowed it to grow, and you don't really notice the growth. It's just crazy. We are not a no-kill shelter. How about that? We don't do it there on site, but we do have some folks that we work with we have a freezer. How about that? Typically give it away. Because we're not USDA certified, where we take it to have it butchered, because they don't, small farmers are just, they have no real way for them to sell their actual meat, because the cost to butcher it to USDA rules and regulations, just, you have to have a large packing house to be able to meet all that stuff. So to avoid all the possible liability that goes with selling something, sorry. So I don't know how to hide this too. So in 2016, we were Partner of the Year at Michigan State for their Ag Extension Program, and they came out and kind of did a little.
And Wayne County 4-H to bring in 45 kids during the school time to learn life skills through animal science projects. And then those kids can take those animals to the county fair and exhibit them at the fair.
So let me just stop that right here. So this little girl right here is legally blind. She can essentially see out the end of a tip of a pencil off on a 45-degree angle. That is all she can see. That Master Stockman trophy, she won that at the fair, which means she showed every animal and finished first or second with every animal. And when you're showing an animal, it's about how your animal performs, but it's how well you present your animal. So she learned to look sideways, see where the judge was, and then turn and present her face to the judge as if she was looking at the judge, pretending to fix her animal. She had no idea what she was doing. She was, I mean, her ability to overcome obstacles. She just wanted to be a teenager. She started out with cavies and her pets she could have at her house, but she wanted to do large animals. She wanted to do sheep and goats, cattle. So she came to Pingree from Livonia. Her mom brought her 2 or 3 days a week from Livonia after work, fighting frickin' rush hour just to come to Pingree to be able to do that. It's- Yep. Yeah. Really started out as kind of hard. It's Detroit, it's abandoned. We're gonna sneak in the chicken. What's up? All of a sudden you drop sharing.
On Zoom.
Did the Zoom meeting end?
No, but you dropped sharing. You're sharing.
That's the brand new Zoom meeting, though.
No. You must have dropped it.
That's the only thing.
That's me.
Okay.
All right, you'll have to go ahead.
What do you think? Put a bow on it? Yes. So I appreciate all of the opportunity here. June 3rd is our planting day, so go to the website, check that out. We'd love to have you. Reach out to Clarence if you'd like to do the Master Gardener, Junior Master Gardener program. What a great opportunity to get the Meadowbrook Garden Club out there to down to Pingree and do all of that. So that would be awesome. So, yes, ma'am. No, we had all of the soil tested. I was a little bit worried about that. You know, we started without testing it, right? And then, oh, well, it's okay, we better check. So we had all the soil tested, and fortunately haven't found any hot spots or any of that kind of stuff. So we were always, where we're farming has always been residential. We have residential on one side, industrial on the other. So it came from the Grix family farm. They subdivided it, put some factors in, and we haven't had any buried waste disposal sites or anything like that. So we're fortunate that way. So yes, ma'am. No, the city helps us by allowing us to exist. So the real estate thing for the city is an opportunity for improvement. Let's just put it that way. The mayor knows where we are through we had a live broadcast once hot Saturday on Fox, and the mayor came and he was mad that they had to come out to Pingree because he wanted it done at his office. And so they brought a bunch of celebrities in all day, right? And but his entourage shows up and it was the hottest day of the year. God. And fortunately the wind was kind of blowing one way, so you didn't get the flies, but oof, you could smell it. And he's like, I knew I approved the farm, I just didn't know where it was, but I know where it is now. And Councilman Benson was a huge part in getting him to sign off on our education laboratory sign off. But so we have a good relationship with the city. It's just the property stuff is a difficult thing. So you used to be able to knock them down yourself. Now they've got all kinds of other, but that's a different. Anyway, any other questions, thoughts, concerns, opportunities, ideas?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Best part?
Is the end?
No, stop. The best part was the emotion. And if they believe in this as much as he looks like he believes in this, there ought to be something we can do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Come on by anytime. We're always there. Probably if it ends in a Y, then I'm usually working. So
This
we'll be
isn't
there.
much, but guess what we're getting?
Wow.
You get an anniversary mug so you don't forget how to put that in.
You know what? I needed a mug.
Thank you. Thank you. This is our last.
Goodbye, everybody online.
Oh, I forgot about, thanks. This is our last meeting in here with a speaker until September. You know what our job is now? Tuesday, planting day.
Saturday, June 3rd, planting day.